Hello and welcome to Fides Television live on Fides Media. I am Dennis Joe, your host. On this episode of News Flash, we'll look into the top stories making waves in the Fides newspaper this week. Stay tuned for further news updates after this timeout. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's move on to the top stories of the week. World Communications Day 2025 theme calls for gentleness as Calm Week kicks off Sunday. On 24 September 2024, the late Pope Francis chose the theme for World Communications Day 2025 that called on people to share with gentleness the hope that is in their hearts, communication that creates the condition for dialogue. Here in Nigeria, the week leading up to the World Communication Day, known as Calm Week, begins this Sunday, 25th May 2025. Also, message of Pope Francis for 59th World Day of Social Communications. Share with gentleness the hope that is in your hearts. These two stories are continued on page 4 of the Fides newspaper. Bishop Eziel Okafor visits St. Paul's Parish, Oba Ufemili, after 10 years. Let's look further into the story. St. Paul's Catholic Church, Oba Ufemili, in Awka North local government area of Anambra State was agog on Sunday, 18th May 2025, as the Catholic Bishop of Awka Diocese, His Lordship Most Reverend Paulinus Eziel Okafor, paid a pastoral visit 10 years after his last. According to him, the last time he visited on a pastoral function was in the year 2015, even as he acknowledged that he had been visiting for other purposes. Details of the story can be found on page 9 of the Fides newspaper. Anambra eager to expand partnership with UNICEF for children's growth, Soludo. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo Monday said his government was eager to expand the existing partnership with United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF. Soludo stated this when he received the UNICEF's country representative in Nigeria, Christian Mondate, at the Governor's Lodge in Amobia. This story and more can be found on page 6 of the Fides newspaper. Normalcy returns to ASU COOU after 5 years, calls for urgent appointment of substantive VC. After years of internal crisis and prolonged dormancy, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Chukwuemeka Odumego Ojukwu University, COOU chapter, has bounced back to life with renewed energy and purpose. The turning point came after the National ASU body intervened, sending a reconciliation team to calm tensions and restore unity within the branch. This led to the conduct of the long-awaited election held on 18 February 2025, which produced Comrade Bruno Ibekilo as chairman alongside other executive members. Also, mother of Aguleri President General, attack on states, all of us, Paul Chukwuma. Page 11 of the Fides newspaper has more details of these stories. More on religious matters. Bishop Eziel Okafor commissions magnificent modern rectory to boost evangelism in Adazienu. The Catholic Bishop of Awka Diocese, Most Reverend Dr. Paulinus Chukwuemeka Eziel Okafor, has commissioned a magnificent modern one-story rectory at St. Dominic's Catholic Church, Adazienu, in Anaucha local government area, Anambra State, for solid evangelism in the community. While performing the commissioning rites, the Catholic bishop prayed God to make the edifice a dwelling place where priests and other workers in his vineyard would be taking a solid rest after day's work. You can check out page 8 of the Fides newspaper for more details of the story. New faces of prostitution. This story can be found on page 14 of the column page in the Fides newspaper. Another major story on the front page of the Fides newspaper this week reads, Father Anthony Udogu dies while playing tennis. Let's have a glimpse of the story. A Catholic priest, Reverend Father Anthony Udogu, has passed away suddenly while playing tennis. It was gathered that the incident happened in the early hours of Monday, May 19, 2025, in Awka, the Anambra State capital. Until his death, Father Udogu was a priest of the Catholic diocese. Also, police stray bullets kills WAEC students in Ibadan. Tragedy occurred in Ibadan, Oyo State recently when a policeman's stray bullet claimed the life of a young student on his way to sit for the West African Examinations Council WAEC exams. Eyewitnesses reported that the officer, in pursuit of a fleeing vehicle along the busy Gbagi Market Road, opened fire in an attempt to stop a suspect. Meanwhile, Soludo holds first Executive Council meeting in new government house. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo has held his first Executive Council meeting in the new government house in Awka. The government house, which was inaugurated 2 weeks ago by President Bola Tinubu during a one-day working visit, has been severally described as a mini city with about 37 different buildings within the expansive compound. The meeting, which was presided over by Governor Soludo on Tuesday, May 20, marked the beginning of the phased relocation from the old government house. You can head over to page 11 of the Fides newspaper for in-depth updates of these stories. Now on our editorial for this week, name Awka Township Stadium after Emmanuel Okala. Let's have a glimpse of our editorial for this week. Recently, Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo facilitated one of the few remaining Nigeria football icons, Emmanuel Ogwejiofor Okala, as the latter celebrated his 74th birthday. Okala, a goalkeeper of great renown, shot into prominence when he joined the famous Rangers International Football Club of Enugu in the early 70s, inspiring them to many victories within and outside Nigeria. You can catch up with our editorial for this week on page 3 of the Fides newspaper. And that concludes this week's episode of News Flash. Thank you so much for watching. For more in-depth news, please follow us on all our social media handles as showcased on your screen. Or you can pick up a copy of the Fides newspaper this week for better reading insights. I am Dennis Joy. Good evening.